Can you see me now? Can you see me now?
I haven't been this nervous for an Indian movie in quite some time. I don't know what it is, but I think all of you can empathize with me as people who watch movies every weekend on the big screen. There is something about rooting for a film, especially when its stakes are high, when there are huge expectations, and especially when the makers are attempting something extremely risky and new, at least from what Indian audiences are used to seeing week in and week out. If I am nervous from the POV of a Hindi cinema viewer who ended up exploring other languages of the country, I can't even begin to imagine what a loyal Telugu speaking audience must be feeling prior to Kalki's release. The movie, directed by Nag Ashwin, is based in the year 2898. The segregation of the world specifically seems to be between the haves and have-nots, where the residents of Kashi, who are economically backward and consist of various bounty hunters, have aspirations to settle in the complex, the apparent affluent part of the world that is run by a dictatorial regime. I am only highlighting for all of you what is inferred in the marketing snippets and the animated series. Ashwathama, played by Amitabh Bachchan, gets all the signs that the birth of Kalki will lead to a new tomorrow, making it his mission to protect Some 80, played by Deepika Padukone, who presumably carries Kalki in her womb. A handsome bounty is presented by the regime to grab a hold of Some 80, and as Bhairava, played by Prabhas, has the goal of a perfect life in the complex, he makes it his sole mission to catch hold of Deepika Padukone and the child that she bears. The conflict that arises as Bhairava comes toe-to-toe with Ashwathama, and one further explores the dystopian future with inference to the Mahabharata, the commencement of the Kalyug, and the motives of several factions, including the Supreme Yaskin, played by Kamal Haasan, forms the ride that you are stepping in for as you watch Kalki. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch the movie in theaters or not. The underwhelming aspects: boring first half and music not used to its full potential. You can fault me for a lack of effort because I went in for a 7:30 AM PVR show in Telugu, hoping for subtitles, and was disappointed that a movie of this scale did not have them. This compelled me to watch the Hindi dub, and I hope the subtitles get integrated for future shows. The trickiest technical aspect to crack when one is making a movie of such a scale with talent that is not native to the state or well versed with the language is that some portions of the film, especially regarding dialogue delivery, will look and feel awkward. This is what I noticed especially in the sequences regarding Disha Patni as she plays the role of Roxy, who fancies Bhairava. This portion of the film that includes a song is so haphazardly edited that it seems straight out of a fever dream, and actually denotes a portion of the film that could have easily been let go. It almost seemed like they got Disha for the film for some momentary eye candy and nothing else. In regards to the music provided by Santosh Narayan, it genuinely is a hit and a miss. Portions of the Kurukshetra war and the character themes of Ashwathama and Yaskin are standouts, but the quality of the music in other portions does not have the same gravitas that a film of this scale deserves. In certain portions of the film, I felt a rousing background score would have helped so much, but in the case of Kalki, it is genuinely few and far between. Especially looking at the effort done with the extravagant visuals, I genuinely felt the music could have been utilized in a more effective fashion. Lack of emotional resonance and some faulty technical aspects. One of the biggest limitations for a film like Kalki is that it is emotionally distant. For a film that is set in a dystopian era, has misery and violence all around, and creates parallels with our own ancient Indian history, there is little to no moments that actually emotionally engage you or make you teary-eyed. Through several moments in the film, lives are lost, and one moves on to the next rather than actually feeling the loss that just transpired. This is also because the makers are adamant in spending so much time on banter and comedic sequences involving Bhairava in the first half. I totally understand how the personality of Bhairava is presented as a carefree, laid-back bounty hunter, and how seeing Prabhas in such a role is a breath of fresh air. But almost the entire first half of the film is spent around his character just daydreaming. This is coupled with action sequences that are designed as a comedy of errors, as the hero calls the goons Kida and Cockroach, and they are just abruptly edited and pieced together, in sharp contrast to the exceptional quality you get to see in the second half. The crazy part is that when Kalki takes itself seriously, that is when the film is the most engaging. The only visual elements that I had a small gripe with include the de-aging technology utilized for a young Ashwathama that does look extremely rudimentary, and an action sequence involving Annaben that came straight out of a choppy green screen rendering. This is just me nitpicking honestly because the special effects work otherwise throughout the film, and it is truly something to marvel at, especially in the second half. The good, the marketing and its effectiveness. I kept on saying the gradual marketing snippets of the film being put out there are only benefiting the film. I kept on saying be patient with this film, as every information being put out by the makers is being carefully crafted simply because of the stakes at hand. But all I kept on getting in my replies was, Jammy, there is no hype for this film. No one in the Hindi market is interested. The hype doesn't exist like any of Prabhas's films. And this movie, with all its marketing of a high concept sci-fi film mind you, is giving competition to the overall first day of RRR, is opening better than Salar in the Hindi regions, and is going to be one of the biggest Hindi openings of 2024. One needs to acknowledge that the soft landing approach by the makers to carefully and yet slowly introduce us into this world and several of its details was essential for us to just have enough information before stepping into the theatre. The Kurukshetra war and the integration of mythology. This is one of the most important aspects of the film that I believe is its strongest suit. I don't know what it is about filmmakers when they do high concept films with star faces that they feel compelled to focus on fluff, which includes random comedic sequences and even a random romantic subplot. See, I know that we got a glimpse of this in the animated series, so of course, we were going to get some cool cheeky banter, and honestly, some of the meta jokes, which are quite clearly digs at the format of commercial Telugu films or the time certain directors take, are hilarious. But it does limit the film from soaring, especially when a movie of this scale is intended to connect with a larger audience who may not be well versed with these inside jokes. The point, however, is that when the film does take itself seriously and slowly unravels the parallels of characters and their role in the Kurukshetra war, this is where the film elevates in its quality tenfold. These are the portions where the film does not only become a visual spectacle, but a dream of a boy who saw these gods only in the confines of the TV of his drawing room. I wish the film had the same consistency in its screenplay because I was in awe of what I was seeing near the final act. The cast. Deepika Padukone as Sumati puts forth an earnest and empathetic performance as a character who is at crossroads with her purpose versus what is right. I could genuinely see parallels with her character here and the one she portrayed in Jawan, showcasing a similar sensitivity in this role as well. She looks elegant in the interval block in this film, by the way, which is so beautifully crafted. Kamal Haasan in his limited appearance has a demonic presence that really made you believe that he is the ultimate boss who can see the world burn for his vested interests. I'll be honest, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I did not really enjoy Saswata Chatterjee's performance. It wasn't ruthless or intimidating enough, and I have seen this man be terrifying on screen. It's just that I could not feel an iota of fear when he came on screen in Kalki. Prabhas is really having fun in this film, and I can see why Telugu film audiences liked his cheeky banter in the initial portions of the film. While I believe this slowed down the film and certain portions of the first half could have easily been chopped off, it also solidified the dynamic he shares with Bujji, almost like a romantic partner who he has to console, coddle and make up with after every argument. It is when Prabhas seems determined to defeat Ashwathama and he embraces an unforgiving and determined attitude that the real intensity of Prabhas is there for everyone to see. You can't help but feel that you wished for this screen presence and presentation in previous collaborations. Amitabh Bachchan, however, is a standout in this film as Ashwathama. I can honestly keep on raving about him in this review. At 81, the sheer screen presence of the man is unparalleled. His dialogue delivery, his towering presence, his sheer physical ability at this age is to marvel at. You're really going to step out of the theatre and wonder where the man extracts such energy. The battle. While I was displeased on the framing, editing and choreography of the action scenes as Bhairava fought other bounty hunters in Kashi in the first half of the film, it is when he ends up battling Amitabh Bachchan where I could easily sit down, put my Martin Scorsese hat on and say, this is cinema. It's exhilarating, the integration of a transformer Buji, the sheer powers of Ashwathama in full display on the bridge in Shambhala is a sight to witness. This followed by the war that breaks out and the parallels one envisions regarding the Mahabharat really make the final 40 minutes of this film a sight to marvel at. The vision of Nag Ashwin and team. I really have to tip my hat to a creator like Nag Ashwin and producers from Vijayanti Films, specifically C. Ashwani Dutt and his two daughters Priyanka and Swapna Dutt. For Nag Ashwin to be 2 films old and investing on such an intimidating vision and backing it financially so that they leave no stone unturned is a feat of bravery and fearlessness honestly very few possess. You can see the labor of love in the frames of Kalki, the world of Kashi, the opulence and wealth of the complex, Shambhala and the oasis it is for the rebels, the sheer styling and presence of Ashwathama, the den of the supreme leader Yaskin, the Optimus Prime-like quality of Buji, the terrain differences across the world as battle ensues, cinematographer Yorick Stojakovic and especially production designer Nitin Zehani Chaudhary deserve all the praise. Of course, there are certain portions of the film, especially when you look at the first half and its flat screenplay, it forces you to be patient and be witness to the vision of the director. I can confess to all of you as the second half commenced, the wait was worth it, making me root for it even more. For what this film could do for future filmmakers who would want to take a deep dive in the perfect marriage between mythology, ancient history and sci-fi. The vision and execution of this film really for Indian cinema is the fuel that opens several possibilities. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Kalki. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.